Welcome back to another episode of Highway Spec. This one is going to be a fun one. Now, there is no pricing. We often do pricing involved in this, but because it is Ferrari, they're not going to give you any pricing. We do know that this vehicle starts at $400,000, and obviously it goes up from there. But it is Ferrari's first ever foray into a crossover, something or other. They are very particular and don't want you to call it an SUV. It is the Ferrari Purosangue. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but we're going for it. And if you have a problem with it, go ahead and leave a comment below. So we're going to pull up the configurator here, and I haven't looked at this at all yet. I know that it's very configurable, lots of different options. So let's jump into it. And honestly, it looks pretty good. It does remind me of the Genesis GV60, their electric crossover from some angles. Obviously the front, not necessarily as much, but the side profile definitely fits that. It is really unique though that this has the rear hinged doors, so that's suicide style doors. And we are just going to jump into it because a 715 horsepower V12, come on, it's pretty awesome. Now the question is, do you go with a more bold choice, a bright color? Do you go with the classic Rosso Corsa? What do you do with an SUV like this? It's really interesting to think of what to do. Personally, you know, I'm a big fan of blues, and I think this definitely plays well here. The Tour de France blue is amazing in person, but personally I'm feeling it needs to be a little bit more understated, something that's not quite as bright. I don't think a white's gonna quite do enough justice for it, but you know, there's this white. It's kind of a more creamy off-white. I think it's got to be somewhere in the silver gray range. I don't know. This is tougher than I thought. There's a lot of colors to choose from, which does not make it any easier. I think we're going to go with that Grigio Silverstone, something that's a little bit more understated. But let's check out the roof. Now, it does have a carbon fiber roof as an option. Can do the panoramic roof. Personally, being that I have young kids, I would like the panoramic roof. Give it a little bit more of an open feeling because the back seat is not super large in this vehicle. Now, of course, exterior carbon, you got to have something to kind of contrast that gray. I think that's a great choice for the vehicle. Now, there are a lot of wheel options. I don't particularly love these wheels. I think these are more of a classic, reminds me of like a Ferrari 360 or 430, something like that. I think those are just a classic 5-spoke wheel. Now, color of the brake calipers, that's a tough one. I like the look of the yellow, matches the yellow center caps, the yellow shield on the front fender. That's, yeah, I think we're just going to stick with that. Now, of course, we want the sport exhaust, but I think we're going to go with the black. I don't know. You matches the carbon fiber well, but you do have the silver wheels. I think maybe we should stick with the silver to kind of blend in more with those silver wheels. Now, here we go. This is where it gets fun. This is the classic Ferrari tan leather interior. I don't know. I have my heart attached to this color, but it's Ferrari. Why not go with something bold like red? You could do a nice brown, chocolate brown there. Ooh, there are a lot of options, and of course you can customize it further. So let's do 360 interior view. This is going to be fun. Ooh, there we go. Now I do like that passenger display that they have. Because there is no center screen, you do need that, as well as the controls over here for the driver. Now, all the journalists that have been in this vehicle say if you set it for about 5'11", you can fit behind it, but your knees are going to be touching. It's not going to be super comfortable. So definitely something that's going to be more geared towards either shorter drives or shorter individuals in the back seat. You do have this really unique design for the climate control. It actually pops out and then retracts in, and it controls multiple functions like your seats and your heating seats rather, and it does come standard with all 4 heated seats. So all right, I think that's a good look. I'm trying to not go with the classic color because frankly that would be something I would probably do, but I definitely would not mind going with the bright bold, even though, you know, it's got red dash and red door panels, and it is a lot of red. Personally, in this vehicle, I would go with leather. I'm not a big fan of Alcantara in like an SUV type vehicle, so I would definitely go with the red interior and these styled seats versus standard seats. You get that little design there. Kind of looks like it has a little bit more bolstering, but I could be off on that. Now the carbon interior, yeah, definitely want to do the carbon interior. That helps tremendously with resale value as well with these vehicles. Now the carpets, I think we're just going to stick with black, but I want to play around with it and just see what you'd get. Wow, that is bold. Yeah, you can do some bold choices here. I think that's going to be too much. The blue, let's see, the tan carpets, yeah. Now you may be able to pull off like a gray. That might look nice, but I think we're just going to go with the traditional black. Now aluminum footrest. Personally, I don't love the aluminum footrest. When your feet get wet, it gets very slippery, even though they have the little grommets on there to help with that. I find they don't work that well. Well, that was actually pretty quick. From lots of options there, but it was pretty quick. So that is going to be my Ferrari Purosangue. You've got the Grigio Silverstone exterior, the panoramic roof. It does have the carbon options, those nice silver wheels, 5-spoke classic, the yellow brake calipers, the silver sport exhaust tips, the Ferrari red interior. I think that's honestly gorgeous. I think that's going to be a fantastic choice with the carbon options on the inside, passenger display, and we stuck with those black carpets. Well, that is my spec. I want to know how you would personally spec it, so make sure to drop a line. Find me on social media. I want to see how you would spec it. Tag at Highway Spec. How would you spec your Ferrari Purosangue, the not an SUV Ferrari SUV? Thank you for joining me. I will catch you on the next episode.